The Strokes, one of my longtime favorite bands, and Julian Casablancas, incredible vocalist, one of my favorites as well. I was very pleased to see that they performed at Coachella. So I have a double feature for you, starting with Reptilia, and I'm curious to see how he does with this song all these years later and live. This is some demanding vocals. And then we'll move on to The Adults Are Talking. Same key as the original. This is good. It's just good music, man. Simple, awesome.
He seemed impressed by the way he came in. Tell us a story. I know you're not boring. Why he was afraid that you would not insist. You sound so sleepy. Just take these pills, not leave me.
Okay, one of the things that Julian has done more of as he's gotten older, which I love, and you don't hear this really on the original version of Reptilia, but listen to what he does with his voice here, even in the opening when he's singing low.
He seemed impressed by the way he came in.
Came, super weighty, and there's this bright brashness even though he's low. Came in. But then that's also a relatively low note. La, 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 la. But he's vibratoing into a head voice posture out of this like, came in. It's not came in. No, there's this lightness. There's this head voice float even though he's low.
He seemed impressed by the way he came in. Tell us a story. I know you're not boring. Why he was afraid that you would not insist. You sound so sleepy. Just take these pills, not leave me. I said, please don't slow me down. I'm going too fast. You're in a strange.
All right. Yes. He is incorporating some of the same approaches, but he's developed and matured a ton. And I've done lots of Julian Casablancas vocal analysis on this channel, and it's really fun to hear this, original song, older song with the newer, more seasoned, and his approaches are so much more diversified, but he's still got that edge, and he's got the intensity, but it's different and better different, I think. I said, please, yeah! Straight compressed note. He's holding back energy and using his false chords to get that little bit of distortion. It's a sizzly sounding distortion. I said, please, yeah! Then...
I'm going too fast.
You're in a strange. No. This distortion is more of a sigh. It's more broken. So, you're in a strange. You're in a strange. You're in a strange. That's why it's looser and more, you're in a strange, yeah, instead of, you're in a strange. It's cool to hear him go and use both of these in a very short window. Back then, he would primarily lean into the, sigh version with compression. sort of cried position, and then on try. There's this brokenness that happens there because we're super light and cried and try. So he can hit that note. But then, trying, moving in and out of cry and mix and this side sort of distorted scream. Changing.
Yeah, ran me off the road.
Yes.
The wait is over. Now I'm taking over you.
Take it. Yeah. Sighing. By the way, if you would like help dialing some of this kind of stuff in with your own voice, I'm a vocal coach and I'd love to help you. Start by clicking the link below in the pinned comment and joining my free course. I'll help you pull from your inspirations and do things with your voice you never thought you could. Yeah. Such a driving, raw, with it guitar solo, right? Not flashy, good old rock and roll. And I like Julian's interaction with the band, even when he's not singing.
Oh, every time that I look at myself,
oh, he's always got a little bit of this sort of Elvis thing happening. But I love that he gets in all these different postures. He is a master at dynamically placing his voice, which is something that a lot of vocalists who are trying to be vocalists, they forget about, or they don't know to do it. It's not just about singing the notes. It's about learning how to develop different postures that allow you to express things differently and experience your voice differently. And you can start by doing it while you're speaking. He's wonderful with this. And we hear all these sorts of characters coming out because of the way he's choosing to experience the resonance in his voice.
thought I told you this world it's not for you.
The room is on fire. I like how he cleans the phrases up, too. He'll sigh into a particular note, and then he'll clean it up, and it'll be light, and there might be some fry at the end of it, but so dynamic. There was more than tighter distortion. Oh, so there was a little bit, that was a more compressed sigh than some of the other ones that he'd done. It was more forward and more shouted. And we can take these really loose sighs and we can add this sort of technique over it. Oh! And we get a tighter, more aggressive scream. Ooh, I like that on enough. Enough. You hear a very low breath pressure. He's saying this note, but he's on the edge of a sigh the whole time. Oh, yeah. At the root of this is fry. Learning how to musically manipulate your fry with different levels of breath pressure in different parts of your range. As the Strokes' writing and Julian's voice evolved, Julian started using a lot more mixed voice. And I think this is great because we have a newer song here now, and we get to hear the same version of Julian perform from two different eras. I love this song. I love this album that this song comes off of. Let's compare and contrast. May I just say that I love the hooky, simple electric guitar lines of the Strokes. They're very vocal, sing-songy. I wish his voice was mixed a little higher. Dreaming. There's that thing I was talking about earlier. Chest voice leans into his vibrato, lightens up almost into a head voice posture, even though it's low. So we've heard him be here. We've heard him be here. This variance in posture, even in this lower area of his voice, that's not incredibly high. He gets this sort of sound. It's a cried sound. I've talked a lot about cry on my channel. If we can understand how this feels, this unlocks a higher, lighter sort of sound in anybody's voice. And one of the things that Julian did as he got older was lean into this sound lower in his voice and let it take him higher. He certainly does that on the studio version of this song. We'll see how that is reflected here in this live version.
They will blame us, crucify and shame us. We can't help it if we have a problem. We are trying hard to get your attention.
That's more croony.
Climbing up your wall. Climbing up the wall.
Climbing up the wall. No, climbing up the wall. The wall, I cry. Even though it's low, then. Super low budget, more covered. We have to wait till later in the song if he does it like the studio version. Plays up here. And I love that. The guitar is playing the melody. The vocalist is playing along or singing along with the guitar. There's a simplicity to it that's just so accessible. Yeah. This like loose call and answer, love it. That was a neat approach. Listen to that. Sighing as he steps up. Wonderful expression. Not something that you would like probably try to do. It's not like he's thinking, I'm going to sigh right here. But he's loose enough and free enough with his expression and how he works with his own voice, his relationship with his voice, that this stuff now just happens unintentionally, even though at one point he was being very intentional with playing with his voice.
You were waiting by elevator. You were saying all the words I'm dreaming. No more.
Dreaming, using like a semi-glottal stop, dreaming, not quite that much, but as a rhythmic figure. That's neat.
All the words I'm dreaming. No more asking questions or excuses. Information's here. ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Here and everywhere.
Yeah, they really didn't mix his voice high enough in certain parts. It's hard to hear some of the nuances. But I get this part. It's it's more of a duet with the guitar.
Want me to do it the same way as you do it.
Here we go. Yes, right there. Yeah, we gotta talk about that again.
The same way as you do it.
Very unapologetically head voicey, but he doesn't stop there. And it's also worth noting that he is cupping the mic while he's singing, giving it a little bit more hollow tone. It's interesting that he chose to do that. There's more weight behind it, yeah. It's not. He started there at a lower posture, and then he has weight up here. That's a mix. He's using a mixed voice, and this posture comes from when he's lower. That sort of cried posture, that cried sensation, where you're throwing the resonance back. It's vibrating around the soft palate, creating an opportunity for you to go higher and add weight to your voice. That's not quite chest. It's not, up there. No, it's not shouted. It's light, but not light, like a normal falsetto would be. The top is heavier. That's weird, huh? I don't want anyone. I don't want anyone. Yeah, cry. Both of those postures are being used here. You hear that extra weight on anyone. It's not, I don't want anyone. It's not. You really hear him lean in. He pulls the mic away a little bit there. That was more head voicey than. And then his upper chest, but it's still a mix. And then, no. He pulled a lot more chest with that last note as he was pulling his mic away. Yeah, and there is very, very intentionally just head voicey. But the wonderful thing about his voice, and we hear this a lot in the studio recording, it's fun to see how he deals with this live, because he's more going into different voices live It's more compartmentalized. It's very blended on the studio recording, which I think is kind of normal. I really enjoy seeing this live. This is the first live performance I've ever seen of this song. Yeah. Messy. I like the contrast of those two tones. The simple interplay between all three vocals, both guitar players. And there's a super covered sound again. It's beautiful.
Anything you want, anything you ask, like you asked me to. It's the devil do.
Great songs, great performances. Here are the studio versions and my analysis to each one of these songs. And again, if you would like help working with your own voice, pulling things out and experimenting with and connecting with your voice in ways you never thought possible, click that link below in the pinned comment and join my free course. We'll see you for more.